I'm at a point in my life where I just I just want to cut the BS, you know, I want to, everything I've heard from a little kid to now, everything I have believed in, the God in our life, the powerful God, where I'm just I want to experience it for me. And so that's why I started a little bit before I was 30, taking my morning devotional seriously. But it's I want to just stop talking about it and be about it. And so I'm at that age where I'm God, sanctify me, whatever that looks like. I'm willing to surrender it. I've been asking God, what are some areas in my life that I need to get better at, because I truly want to live a life that verse in Mark 12:30, where it's love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And I feel there's been moments in my life where I've been good in one area, not the other. And I'm just okay, I want to live the life that you want me to live, God. I've tried it my way so many times in so many different areas, and every time I just hit a wall, or I'm not satisfied, I'm not content. And so life is too short. I'm 30 already, I'm grown. I know that you are my creator, you're my author, so let me just love you, be a good steward of everything you've given me, and then enjoy it. Welcome back to the Better Everyday podcast, where we're unlocking our best self one episode at a time. My name is Grace Garcia, and this is my handsome, hot of a husband, David Garcia.
What's up?
So we've been starting off the podcast with a little bit of life updates. And so, David, what is new or maybe the same with you?
It's the same. I'm going through mental battles with this ankle. I would say still at 70, maybe 80%. I've been, according to ChatGPT, doing some mobility work, and I'm noticing I'm getting a little bit more movement to it, or range of motion to it, but I still feel the tightness. And I know if I go run, it's going to make it worse. And so you showed me a reel of this physical therapist last night, and she has some good information, good insight. Yeah. And so she said that don't go out for a run to test your ankle. Yeah. You should be doing other things that are less impact, that if you feel something, you're not going to make things 10 times worse or even 3 times worse. You're going to feel a little tweak, and then you're just going to know, okay, I'm not ready for running yet. And so I feel I went a little hard on the mobility work yesterday. So today I took a day off, because I did wake up feeling a little bit tender. So tomorrow I'll be back with the mobility work, and honestly, I just want to go back. But there's a part of me that's telling me you're probably gonna have to take next week off too, which I'm hating, because this Sunday will be exactly 15 weeks left. And so if I take another week off, and we are going camping next weekend, so it's just, it's mentally tough. And a couple of people have been asking me, and I feel good that, last week we were talking about vulnerability. And so I just had that on my mind. So I'm hey, I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm hoping that I'm opening the door and not just shortening the fence. But I've been letting people know hey, this is mentally tough for me. I don't like it. It's a test. Saturday and Sunday, I'm not going to lie, I had some food that I probably shouldn't have had. I probably overate. Luckily, I didn't gain too much, but I just feel myself holding on. Yeah. I feel like Spider-Man in that one scene where the subway's right behind him and he's trying to hold it together, whatever. But I feel myself letting it go. And it's tough because part of me, since I'm black and white, I'm just let's just throw it all away, and just wait until the ankle comes back, and then whatever, I'll eat bad, and I'll gain some pounds, and I'll probably break some good habits, but I can get back into it. But I'm trying my best. So I've been doing virtual reality boxing. I've been doing some weightlifting to try to maintain, burning something, getting the body moving, maybe building some muscle or something. But it's pretty tough.
And is biking out of the equation?
I think if I don't start running next week, the ChatGPT said that I could start doing biking, since it is less impact.
Okay. That's good.
So what's new with you?
Well, now I kind of it's on the other spectrum. Now I feel bad because I'm in this running journey when you're taking a pause. But I was so excited this past weekend was my personal record of hitting 7 miles, which is the most I've ever ran. Almost pretty nonstop. I think there was like twice, maybe like couple like 30-second breaks, but I never saw myself in the near future being able to hit that. I thought it was going to be like a way slower process. And I felt great. I definitely felt what runners call this a runner's high, which is, probably sounds annoying to like non-runners.
Explain that to people. Because I honestly, when I first thought about runner's high, I was just like, what is this? Like, what do you feel? And during running, like I've gotten up to like 15 like miles. And like during it, you're just like, honestly, it's not like, oh my gosh, like this like boost or whatever. So you feel like
you haven't experienced it?
No. So my thing is that I feel like I experience it after. So the endorphins and everything kick in after I'm done. And
for sure.
I've come home and I've told you, I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm on cloud 9. I feel like, you know, I'm so in love with you. Like, I don't know. It's something where I can't explain, where I'm like there's something that's like boosting me. But like during my run, I don't feel that boost.
No, I think that definitely, I felt that on Saturday when I came home and I was like super excited. And just like, I was on cloud 9. I'm like, I wish I could run right now. Like, let's just keep going. But I think during, and it might have been during, because it was my first personal record, where I was like, I'm doing this. Oh my goodness. I'm about to like surpass what I even intended. Because I went with the mentality of, let me do for sure 3. And if I can get to 6, then cool. Because it's 3 there, 3 back, right? And I'm like, let's just see. And then I was like, let's go for the 7. And I was like, I was ending 6 already. The good song came on. And so I was ending it like full on sprinting at that point. And I've hit 6 and I was like, let me just do 7. And so I think for me, it was just excitement of, wow, I feel good. I'm not tired. I'm actually like going to surpass what I envisioned myself for. And so that's what I was feeling during that time. And then after, I felt even like better. Like you just feel this such confidence, like no one can tell me nothing. Like, and I hear people on TikTok say like one of the best things about running is like your confidence. Like no one can take it away from you. Like you feel like you're strong. Like I just did that. And I'm falling in love with running, which is like cliche because I heard you say it and I'm like, oh, that sounds cringy. But again, I'm telling you guys, like I was that person that never ran the mile on PE. The coaches hated me. I took dance to get out of PE in high school. Like I didn't do PE in high school at all, but because I hated it so much. And so I'm like, if I can run, like anyone can run. I started my runs, like 1 mile, I couldn't even do it. Like 2 weeks, this was 2 weeks ago. I couldn't even do a whole mile without stopping. And then one day I'm like, let me just try to do 1 mile without stopping. And that same day I was like, oh, okay, let me do 2 miles. And then that Saturday, it was like that same week, I was like, let me just do freaking 7 miles. Like it was insane. And so I'm like, I think I'm riding this wave as much as they can. And I hope, I'm probably annoying people on Instagram about like this fitness journey I'm on, but it's just like, I can't believe that I'm this person. And I just want to tell everyone, like, if I can do it, you can do it. Like I wasn't this person a couple weeks ago. And so like, come on, join me. Like that's just where I'm at right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that actually makes me so happy, like to hear you say that you fall in love with running. And it's, like you said, it's been so fast. And I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I did tell you something on Saturday before you went on your long run. And I said, before you go out on your run, kill your pride.
Yeah.
I told you, you're going to see people blow past you. And I think, I don't know if I told you, but like there's times where I'm running and somebody like goes past me and I purposely go even slower just to kill my pride. Because I'm like, I know part of me wants to chase this person down and feel like I can run with them. But I'm like, no. I have to go at my own pace. And that's, I think, we haven't said it here, but it's pretty soon me and one of the followers of the podcast, Nancy, are going to be opening up a tribe group of running. So it's kind of like a run club, I guess, for like 10 weeks. And one of the first things that I want to tell everybody is that one rule. And that one rule pertains to running and it pertains to life. And it's almost like, well, it is, biblical, like when that story of the talents, how one started with 1, the other one started with 2, the other one started with 5, I think it was. And like the analogy of that is just like, you start where you start. Be okay with where you start. Don't compare yourself to other people. Like, start where you start. And that's the reason why I told you, like, kill your pride before you even go on this run.
Yeah.
Like, if you're running at 12:30, I told you, run at the pace where you feel like you can run forever. And it made me so happy for you to come back home and you were like, I felt like I could have gone more. Like I felt, and I'm like, there, you hit, like, that's the pace that you should be at.
Yeah.
That's your baseline now. And like, you're only going to build from there. And like, yeah, you might see like Instagrams of people going like 7-minute miles or whatever. And you're like, I want to be there. And you can be there. It's going to be a long journey. But if you put in the work and you put in the consistency, like, you're going to get there. And what helps is that you reach the point where you're like, I love running. So now, like, I remember, was it the night after that? You were like, I'm already thinking about my next run. Like,
oh yeah, I was so annoyed.
I can't sleep or whatever. Like, I'm just thinking about my next run. You were excited or whatever.
Yeah.
And that helps on the journey as well. And you only get to that point when you are okay with being in your own lane, being at your own pace, like not worrying about anybody else. And again, that is a life lesson in itself.
Yeah.
Whether you're starting a podcast or you're starting a business or whatever it is that you are starting, be okay with starting where you're at and going at the pace that you're going to go at and building from there.
Yeah, that for sure was, I think, super important, because there's been times where I'm running with people and you feel bad, or you're like, oh, we're meant to run this together. And so you're huffing and puffing and you're just miserable the whole time. And you come out of that situation saying like, I hate this. Like, I'm not good at this. Like, just talking yourself down, which we've said, whatever you speak to yourself or how you see yourself, how your identity, that's what's going to flow from you. And so you telling me that day, it was like programmed in me where I'm like, all right, I'm not going to care. And I didn't care. It wasn't easy. I think it was easy for me not to care. I was just like, okay, like, it is what it is. I don't even know what to expect. And I think not having expectations also helped. And so when I did it, I was like, I'm so glad I did do 7 miles at that pace, because that just kind of like solidified, like, this is true. Who cares? I'm running 7 miles. Yeah, it's 12:30, which is like super slow. But like, no one could take the fact like I did that, because there's people who can probably run it faster and haven't tried to do that long or whatever. And so that, I think, how you said, is true, because many of the times a huge motivation killer is comparing it. And we talked about this before on that comparison podcast. Like, it steals your joy. It steals your drive. At the end of the day, it's just going to stop you, and you're going to be paralyzed because you're like, I can't go as fast as them. And so you're never even going to try.
Yeah, it sabotages your own journey.
Yeah. And so, yeah, thank you. You for sure inspired me from the beginning. I'm so competitive. And so when I saw you that half marathon, you were like so happy and like proud of yourself, which you should be. But I was just like, how hard can it be? Like, in my head.
You're going to find out.
And I told you, like, I can do it. And you just like laughed at me. Like, okay. And like that feel, I was like, oh heck. And I told my friends, me and my friends signed up. And I'm like, no.
Okay, hold on. Before you get too ahead of yourself, like, let's talk about the timeline, because this happened in October of 2024.
Oh yeah.
And it's now June of 2025. So the reason why I chuckled at you when you were like, I could do that, is because you had no hint of like doing anything. And that's the main reason why I was like, well, first you got to start doing something, and then I can like.
But I think you, and again, you didn't mean it like in a sure, but you meant it like, yeah, like realistically, okay. But that like fueled me. It didn't fuel me like right away, where like the next month I'm like running, but I was like, I'm going to do it. Like, this guy thinks they can't do it. Like, watch me, like just something. And I'm so competitive in nature, but it went away, not for that. Like, I turned 30 and I told you one of the things, like, okay, I want to be really focused on my health journey. I got the negative report that says I'm way more prone to breast cancer than like the normal woman. And just seeing my kids, like, I want them to not see life and be like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take me so much to eat healthier. It's gonna take me so much to start running, or it's gonna take me so much. Like, but them to have an advantage and be like, oh, this is just something my parents did. This is something that we grew up doing. Like having that foothold where I feel like I'm so overwhelmed because I don't even know where to start. I haven't seen that as an example. I have no idea like what it looks like. And so want them to not only just financially, spiritually be ahead of the game of everyone else, but also physically. And so it was a lot of different moving pieces. I even had my coworkers, like I have one coworker specifically who ran half marathons. She's trying for her full. And like, I think it was a bunch of different moving pieces that it just like clicked. And I don't even know exactly what made me take the 3 miles seriously, because I kept telling you I'm going to run. And people ask like, how is it going? Yeah. And I'm just like, I did it like once a week. Yeah. Every like month or something like that. And I was like not really wanting to say it's not going anywhere. And then just recently, I don't know what happened.
You said something right now about family, and I saw this Instagram video or post it was, and it said, if you didn't come from a healthy family, make sure that a healthy family comes from you. Yeah. And I was like, that's good.
It is good. And I just, especially, I think it hits so close to home because my mother died of breast cancer. Like I would hate for, God forbid, for me to get a diagnosis or something that I haven't, and my kids be like, well, did she do everything she could to prevent it? Yeah. Like, let's just say maybe it is in the cards for me. Like God's tested me or whatever. But they can say like, that was just nature because she tried her best. I don't want them to think like, well, did she like bring it on upon herself because of her eating habits or because of her health? And so I'm just thinking like, I've had that, you know, those hard thoughts of like, if she went to the doctor earlier, if she worked out, if she ate right, like, could it have been preventable, or was it just God's test on us? Because I do think it could be that too, but not being sure or kind of getting mad at like that version of my mom, like it's frustrating. And so thinking like, okay, I want to be a good steward of my body, which is a great segue to the topic because I'm going to talk about it anyway. So might as well just mention the topic and continue a conversation. But it's about like the temple of God, which we're called in the New Testament God's temple, and that our worship should be our living body as a sacrifice. And so I do think we're called to be a good steward, and I want my kids and my husband to see that. So again, if God forbid something, they're not like, well, she kind of asked for it, or duh, it was going to happen. Like we hear so many people, right? Like going to the doctor and we're like, well, I mean, look at their eating habits. Like what were they expecting? To get away from it unscathed? Like, you know, we are human. And I think sometimes we forget that we're so finite. We're so fragile. We're made from dust. And I think in our comfortability, I don't know what happens. We just think we're untouchable. And so when we get a diagnosis or when we get pain, we're just like, where is that from? Like, or we start questioning God, and it's just like, you haven't been drinking water. You haven't been moving your body. You haven't gotten off the couch. Like, what do we expect? It's like we're shocked. And again, you just heard that I started this like a couple weeks ago, but it's great. It's just wild to me. And I just wish like it would be a easy like switch for everyone. But I mean, it took me like 30 years and it took you a while too. Yeah. And so everyone's going to have their own journey. And again, don't compare yourself to the point where compare yourself for inspiration, but don't compare yourself where it's a paralysis because that doesn't help anybody. But it's super important to be like, what do I need to do to like turn on the switch? Like maybe it's an age thing. Maybe it's your kids. Maybe it's that God has called us to be good stewards of our body. Like it's something because I do think it is so, so important. And I do think like, oh, what if I started when I was in high school? If I was in like my 20s. But it's like, okay, whatever, that happened. I'm doing it now, better late than never. And I'm really happy. And I just wish everyone could experience it. And I think that's why I get so passionate about it. And this topic has been in my mind because it's like, I just wish everyone could just feel it. Like just feel it. You feel like no goal is off limits. Like at one point I thought I could never run a half marathon. Now I'm like, oh, I did half of a half marathon. October, I'm gonna be so ready. Which before I was like, how the heck am I supposed to run for longer than like 5-8 minutes?
Yeah.
And now after I'm like, I asked you, do you think I could run a full marathon? And you're like, after the half marathon, you might think that. And I'm just like, I'm not going to say never because maybe I want to.
You're going to feel that.
And so I'm just like, I just feel so good. And I just wish everyone could experience this. And it's kind of frustrating because you don't know what could be their like tipping point or if they will ever get it. And that's scary too, that some people might never get there. I don't know. I know I just like brain dumped a lot, but what do you think about this topic?
I like this topic. I do have a pet peeve in regards to this topic, and I've told you this, told a couple other people this. It's such a pet peeve of mine. Because we've talked about it here before, and I've seen a couple of posts on it, and the posts basically say, your life is never going to change until you're finally tired of where you're at.
Yeah.
And it's just a perspective. That's it. Your life is still the same. Your perspective changed.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that's all it takes is a slight perspective change, and you're just like, all right, let's go.
Yeah. And
it is so annoying. It is so frustrating. And this frustration comes from like, I'm frustrated at the ignorance sometimes. I'm frustrated sometimes because I truly care about these people. And like, especially when you truly love somebody, you want the best for them.
Yeah.
And when you see them make the decisions that are not good for them, you're just like, but you have to let it go. You have to, because it's just like having a teenager when you tell them, don't date that person. What are they going to do? They're going to date the person even more. So same thing, when somebody's so rooted in whatever it is that they're doing and they love it, the more you tell them not to do it, the more they're just going to be implanted and no, this is the right thing to do. I'm going to do it. But it is so annoying when people need to get the bad news from a doctor for them to go, oh my gosh, I got to get my life together. And then the other frustrating part, the other layer of frustration on top of that is that they think it's only for a couple of months. Like, I need to get my life together just for I need to start eating greens. There's no more carbs. There's no more red meats. It's only going to be chicken and fish and vegetables and fruits and nothing but whole foods. But they think it's going to be for 6 months. Then my life will go back to like at least somewhat even. And then I'll go back to my regular habits. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
No, like when you get the bad news from the doctor, like if health is a mountain and you get the bad news from the doctor, like you're not even at the base of the mountain. You're like, you dug yourself a hole. So you're not even lower than the baseline of the mountain. Like you're starting even lower, like harder, like, and you think just because you get to the baseline, you're good. Like, no, because like you've said before, like there is no staying stagnant. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And it's so annoying when people like, oh my gosh, like now that I got this bad news, now that they said that I have cancer or I have this certain disease or I had diabetes or I have like whatever it is, like now I'm going to get my life together. Granted, like there are some people that when they get there, they actually do say it's a lifestyle. Congratulations. We're proud of you. Like keep going. Like make it a lifestyle. Don't like make it like, oh, once the doctor tells me I don't have diabetes, then I'm going to go back to like, you know, the life that I really want to live, which is a life of basically like gluttony and just bad stuff. And so it's really annoying, and it's a hard topic for me, like that topic of frustration, because I don't know the balance between I love you and I'm willing to fight you, like almost literally fight you to get you to do the right things. Although I know that I'm going to be painted out to be the guy that's just, it's none of your business and nobody asked for your opinion. Like, but the frustration is coming out of love. You know, like I remember when you told me like, oh, I got the thing about the cancer or whatever. And you were like, it was a percentage or something like that they gave you. And it was like a somewhat high percentage, right? Yeah. What was it?
I want to say like 34 to 75%.
34 to 75%?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I immediately told you like, no. There's no more junk food. There's no more like none of that. Although, you know, you still, you know, you'll sneak in like some In-N-Out and some Chick-fil-A or whatever. But when I hear that, I'm like, because I love you,
Yeah.
Because I know the possible thoughts that are going through your mind as well. And so I'm not only trying to make you live longer, but I'm also trying to help you combat those thoughts that you're probably having of like, all right, I'm doomed. Like my mom got it, so I'm probably going to get it too. And then you're probably even like, it's almost like when I tell you like, I want to let go of my health, like journey or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, well, what's the point? Like, I mean, I might as well just live the life however I want to live if I'm going to eventually like die sooner than I probably should anyways. And so to combat that, I'm just like, no, like we can do this. And the great thing, and here's the other pet peeve of mine, and a little bit hypocritical, I must say, because I just recently last year started doing general checkups. But like people are scared to go to the doctor. Why? Because they think that the doctor is going to give you bad news. Well, guess what? That bad news is technically good news because it makes you react and makes you do all the right things to get your life back on track. And so when the doctor told you that, I'm like, we got to get this going. We got to get health. And the good thing is that you know now. And when you know, it's just like, okay, I know what to expect. I know the possibility of what's coming. And I know that if I take my health seriously, I could skirt this. Or you're planning to get like a regular checkup, I think, what is it? Like every month? Every year. So every year you're going to get a checkup and they're going to let you know and they're going to let you know and they're going to let you know. So you're staying on top of it. So now if you happen to get it, you're living a healthy lifestyle, so your body is more equipped to fight something off. And then you've caught it quick. So whatever it is that the doctor like, oh, we caught it on phase 1. That's perfect. Like we're going to do all this procedure or we're going to, whatever the procedure is, and you're probably going to be fine. It's like, all right, cool. Like, but everyone's scared to go to the doctor because, oh my gosh, the bad news. Like that's technically probably good news for you because it should change your perspective into living a better lifestyle. Yeah.
And how you were saying, like, I totally understand because I'm like you similarly where you're frustrated and you're just like, how can I get people to understand? But at the same time, I feel like I have more empathy when it comes to it than you because I'm like, it took me 30 years and it was like a longer process. And I'm like, I can't expect, like it's a hypocrite. I'd be a hypocrite if I'm like, why can't you do it in like a day or in a year or even like 2 years, you know? Because it took me a long time to get here. And I'm still not where I want to be, if that makes sense. So I feel like I can feel for them because I think about myself and I'm like, okay, it's kind of like, you know, when you're a seasoned Christian versus new, and the new Christian, like, still goes like clubbing or like still gets drunk. And it's so much easier to say like, why are you doing that? And it's like, I used to do that too. And you have more grace for them because you know your journey. And so I feel like I can have more grace for people or like just empathy, not saying like what they're doing is okay, but you just start, you know, okay, it took me a while. I can't be a hypocrite. That's how I see it.
With the analogy that you gave with a Christian, it makes me want to give more grace. But then I also like, because I'm more black and white, I think especially the people who want to have kids or who already have kids, like the moment that you want kids, you have the weight of responsibility of health on your shoulders.
For sure. But did you, when you had Elijah, did you immediately like start, like there's pictures where Elijah's born and you were a hefty boy.
I mean, I don't want this to be a debate, but I would then say the kind of applies to the whole, the more you know, the more responsibility you have.
Oh, for sure.
And so I think I'd be waving the ignorant flag in those moments where it's just like, now that I'm locked in, it's just like, I don't think I could ever be unlocked in this regard. Like I'll have moments of slippage, right? Like I was saying, like this weekend, like I ate a little bit more bread. I had a big steak, you know, like some fries or whatever. But like when it like fully let go, I'm like, I feel like I will forever walk with this responsibility.
Yeah.
Because now it's not just about me. It's about my wife. It's not just about my wife. It's about my kids. And I'm sure my kids have the desire of them growing up, having their kids and having us be a part of their kids' lives.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's, and the responsibility of what God has bestowed upon us of like, okay, you're going to live out this is what I have planned for you. This is how many years I want you to be living out like on earth. These are all the tasks and all the purpose that I have for you. Like, go get it done. Like, you have responsibility on your shoulders. And if you're just sabotaging yourself, and then, like you said, some people go, well, why, God? Why do I have diabetes? Why do I have cancer? Why can't I get out of bed? Why am I always tired all the time? Like, now why am I depressed? Like, look at yourself in the mirror and say, why? Mm-hmm. Now, before I go off the rails, you should take over.
No, I do agree, because I do think, like, everyone knows, just, you know how, and I'm going to take a vert, but you'll see where I'm going with this. You know how, like, Romans 1 and 2 says, like, people might not know exactly who God is, mm-hmm. but they cannot say that they didn't believe there's a God, because even creation speaks of him. Like, if the gospel hasn't reached a certain area, they still will be judged by how much they know.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like similarly, everyone, whether you had parents who modeled health or you had parents who completely did the opposite, I think everyone at one point in their life has a thought of like, I should be working out. Or like, maybe I should be eating right. Like, you have some inclination, like a little.
I think it depends though, because I used to work out. I started working out probably when I was like 18-ish. Okay. Then, but my thing was always like, I would last like 3 to 6 months. I would quit, come back like a year or so later. That's what I'm saying.
You had that in you.
But what I'm trying to get at is, what is the reason why you're doing it? Because back then, until the age of like whatever, like the last year or 2 years, every time I would work out before that, it was all vanity. I wanted big muscles to show them off. Mm. I wanted to impress people with my physique or my six pack or whatever. Like, it wasn't really about health. I didn't really care about health. Mm. It was for the vanity of it.
And that's a great topic, because I feel similar to me, where before, anytime I wanted to, which I couldn't stick for it with long, every time I wanted to, it was like to get a six pack, to have this big juicy butt. Like, I was like, what words should I not say? It was just for like the looks of it, right? Like, whose eye can I catch attention to? Mm-hmm. Or like, right. And maybe it is a blessing, like my diastasis recti, because now I'm like, I told you, like, could be a little bit discouraging, because my physical therapist is checking and she's like, your core is stronger. And I look at the mirror and it's the same saggy little stomach I have. And I'm just like, where's she seeing strength? Like, mm-hmm. you know, but she's not seeing, like, she doesn't just look at my belly and say it looks good. She's like testing for it, right? She's seeing, okay, is it getting closer together? Like, can she withstand these exercises, whatever? And I feel like that's what God cares about. And going back to the topic of the temple, like, so many people care about what it looks like mm-hmm. for the outsider. Mm-hmm. Do I look holy enough? Am I saying the right things? Mm. Back in the day, right in Jerusalem, is my temple glorious? Is it beautiful? Is it bringing in the right type of person? Like, we all care. And God is like, there's no real change, no real heart transformation, no real life transformation if all we care about is what are the others thinking. That's not what God has called us mm-hmm. to. Everything in the New Testament is, if you even lust after a girl, you've already cheated. Yeah. Like, he does not care about what you are doing on the outside. He cares, what does your heart look like? Mm-hmm. And I think maybe now that's why it's probably sticking for me personally to be working out, mm-hmm. because I'm like, I might have this body for the rest of my life. Like, I cannot, maybe she even told me it might not close all the way. Like, I can help you make it stronger so that when you do workouts, you're not making it worse. But the reality is, I cannot say with 100% guarantee, if you continue seeing me, it's going to close. She's mm-hmm. like, everyone's different. So it might look like that, but I told you, like, I'm going to work out every day, not every single day, but, you know, like every day and get strong. Like my purpose is to just get stronger, to get healthier. Like I like this journey, but I had to get to that point where I'm like, I don't care what I look like. And I think as long as people keep doing it with this vain intent, they're not going to see real transformation. The real transformation comes from the inside out. What is your why? What does your heart look like? That's why I wonder if so many Christians like are still battling depression, are still battling sin and going back to it time and time again, are battling pornography, are battling not being healthy, not taking care of the temple, because it's, again, I'm going to church because it looks good. I'm posting these podcast sermons because it looks good. But in your alone time, you don't care about doing the hard work. You just what looks good for now.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, again, another life lesson from like working out to like your Christian walk. Just a life lesson in general. Like, it's exactly what you said. Like, it's not until that perspective change where it's just like, no, I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to do this because I believe it's true, that this is going to be beneficial to me, that there's purpose behind this. Like, and it's for longevity too. Like, especially with like working out, like I'll always go like, what type of 75-year-old do you want to be? The one that, needs a 24/7 like caretaker, or the one that, like you look at Arnold and the dude's still like lifting weights, and Sylvester Stallone as well, whatever. You see like some older gentleman, like 75, 80 years old, running marathons and Ironmans. It's just like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's because they continue to put in the work. And in the same way, just like with your walk with Christ, it's exactly what you said. Like, it's the difference between I care about what others think of me and how they see me, and the other side of that coin is I don't care. And I'm going to have a relationship with God, and I'm going to do all these things. Like, I don't need people to know what I'm doing. Because, I mean, like, let's be honest, and I've battled with this, and I've judged this as well, just like the people that, like, need to post everything, like, oh, I'm reading this verse, whatever, or I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I fasted today, and, like, they need people to see them as, like, super spiritual, whether that's because they want people's attention, that they want a following, they want to be able to have a platform for them to speak, that they believe they have to have something to say, like... But if their heart isn't right, they have no business being in that space. And I truly believe a lot of the things that are beneficial to us happen in private. Granted, like, we might live our life a little bit loud in regards to like, oh, like, hey, we are on a health journey and we're doing updates or whatever. But I mean, I think it's safely say like we don't do it with that vanity of like, oh, look at us and praise us and put us on a wall and here, take shirtless pictures of us and post it on your wall or whatever. Like, no, like it's for the sake, like exactly what you said. This is where I was before, like the testimony of it.
Yeah.
I was doing everything possible to skip gym, and now I just ran 7 miles. I never thought in my life that I could run 7 miles. Somebody could connect with that, could relate with that and be like, oh, funny enough, I had the same story. Like I would do everything possible to like get out of gym. I didn't want to run laps or whatever. Like I didn't like sweating. And they could relate and be like, okay, just that whole like thought of like, if she can do it, I can do it. And then you have the inspiration come from it. Right. But again, it's just all about the difference between a true heart and just a vain heart.
Yeah. And I do think for sure age has something to do with it, because you always said too, like you felt like you didn't fully mature until you were 30.
30 is the magic number for maturity. I truly believe it.
And I thought I was mature. Yeah. But it's crazy. And I might cry. Not because I'm sad. Well, it's that time, like any day now, I'm going to get it's the time of the month. But also I do think like I'm at a point in my life where I just like I just want to like cut the BS, like Like I want to, everything I've heard from like a little kid to now, everything I have believed in, like the God in our life, like the powerful God, where I'm just like, I want to experience it for me. And so that's why I started a little bit before I was 30, like taking my morning devotional seriously. But it's like, I want to just stop talking about it and like be about it. And so I'm at that age where I'm like, God, like sanctify me, like whatever that looks like I'm willing to surrender it. Like I've been asking God, like, what are some areas in my life that I need to get better at? Because I truly want to live a life like that verse in Mark 12:30, where it's like, love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And I feel like there's been moments in my life where I've been good in one area, not the other. And I'm just like, okay, I want to live the life that you want me to live, God. Like I've tried it my way so many times in so many different areas. And every time I just hit a wall or I'm not satisfied, I'm not content. And so like life is too short. Like I'm 30 already. I'm grown. I know that you are my creator, you're my author. So let me just love you, be a good steward of everything you've given me, and then like enjoy it and show others. And I do hesitate posting. And right now, like this whole week, I've been like posting my workouts because I'm just so excited. But I do hesitate and I catch myself like constantly overanalyzing because I think growing up, I've been called conceited so many times, but like my family especially, like, but I know I can come off as that. Like I think I have a general like inclination to be more conceited than other people, like naturally. And so I think that has always stuck with me. Like you're conceited, that label. And so now I find myself in a place where like, I'm like, oh, I don't want to come off as that. But then I read passages. I've just been reading Matthew recently, and it's like, don't hide a lamp. You're not going to put a lamp underneath the table. Like, put it on top of the city to give light, right? And just like with salt, you're not going to wait until it loses its flavor. And so I'm like, God, like, help me find this balance, like, check my heart. But I get so excited, and I'm like, okay, I think if it's excitement, like, it's fine, you know? But I just want to live that out where I just wish, like so many other Christians, and again, I say this from a place of love because it literally just took me until recently to be in this place. But it's like, if everyone could love God like that with all of their heart, with all their soul, mind, and strength, like how much more healthy would the church be? The capital like C. Like how much more deeply rooted disciples can we make? How much like better families, like healed hearts, like, and I'm just like, oh, I just wish we could surrender all of those areas to God. It does take a shaking up of your schedule. It does take uncomfortability. It does take like your reprioritizing like what's important to me. Like it is going to take that, but I just wish like everyone could like have that desire, like wanting to at least, like that we're going to mess up. I'm not at my full potential yet. Like I know this is a journey. I'm getting better every day, little by little. For me, it has not been extreme. And I think that's what's helped me sustain it. Like I've said this time and time again, like it started off with just being consistent on TikTok, which I know sounds like super vain, but just the fact that I was able to stay consistent on TikTok made me think I'm a consistent person. And that consistency, I was like, oh yeah, why can't I do it for my morning routine? Like I think it was 2 years ago already for like a New Year's resolution. I'm like, let me just take that consistency. And I did it. And I have like, now I think like 4 more prayer journals just like completely filled. And I'm like, okay, I did my morning routines. Like, why can't I started meal prepping, and I've been super consistent with that, like even in the summers. And it's those little things that it's just like, okay, now let me do Pilates. Okay, now let me just do running. And like, it just, how you said, 1% every day is going to compound. And so I don't want people to be like, oh, she's never going to eat a burger again, or she eats burgers all the time. She's not going to live God in like this area. Like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like, I'm on this journey, and I just hope like more people would get on this journey.
I think I can, I know I can confidently say that I've definitely seen the growth in you in the last year or so. Not just, with the physical stuff, but also with the spiritual stuff, with emotional stuff, relationship stuff. I notice it all the time in regards to like, there's things where I do certain things where I know like this is going to set her off. And you're so much slower to anger nowadays. Like, and I'm like, no. Like there's change, there's growth in you. Like, and it's highly super evident. Like I'm like, I mean, this is going to sound a little silly, but for like times where you're just like, there's nothing special going on. There's nothing. And you're just like, babe, don't worry about it. I'll clean today. And I'm just like, who the heck are you? What? You're like, oh, babe, don't worry. I'll put the kids to sleep.
Oh, it's because
like,
it's his chores. Like, it's his chores.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm taking it on.
Yeah. Because we have like the schedule or whatever. Yeah. And like, what was it? Like last week, I think it was, or the week before that. Or like, I didn't do something and I'm like, ooh. Or like, there's times where like, yeah, you do get mad. But like, where I'm just like, oh my goodness, she's going to drag this on for like the whole day. I'm going to see her and she's still going to be mad about this. And I see you and you're just like, hi. And I'm like, like first couple of times, it's like, I don't know whether to trust it or not. But,
you're like, she's going to psycho.
But like, no, like hearing you say right now and for you to say it so vulnerably and so genuinely, I'm just like, yeah, like it's 100% evident. Like the growth that has been happening in your heart and like in your life, really. And it is inspiring. And then in regards to the whole, like, you don't know if you should post or not post or whatever, or like that you're vain or that you're, what did you say? Conceited. I would say that as long as it's a story in regards to like it's one thing to be like, hey guys, I ran 7 miles. What are you guys doing with your life today? You know, it's another thing when you share like part of your life, probably maybe that's something that you haven't like shared before publicly or whatever. And you go, this is where I was before. This is where I'm at now. Like that's a testimony. That's hope. That's inspiring to people. Like, oh, like I was there before. And if she could do it, like in the matter of time that she did or whatever, like it's inspiring, right?
Yeah.
And so I think to keep yourself humble, I think there has to be a layer of vulnerability that goes with like the post or whatever.
Yeah,
or as long as like maybe not every single post, like, oh, I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but like the storyline of it.
Yeah.
You know, and I think people buy into that storyline because again, they want it. Some people live vicariously through you. Maybe they don't have the strength yet to like make the actions that you've made, but they live vicariously through you. So maybe sometimes it's you just saying, and I think that's why when I started my Instagram for like the running stuff, I really wanted to start with an introduction of like, this is where I was and here's where I'm going. Right. And when you do that, when you open up your life to people and you like are vulnerable with them, they are now along for the journey. And now the people that have been following you since day one, they know like, oh, like let's just say, for example, for me, he was 30 pounds heavier. Like we saw pictures of him and dude looked like a big boy. And now he ran a half marathon. Now he ran a Spartan. Now he's running a full marathon, or whatever. In the same way, like when you start off with like, this is where I was and here is where I'm at. And now everything after that is updates that link to like where I started. I think again, that's still a level of vulnerability of like, hey guys, I just want to let you guys know. And then also probably, you know, being transparent with like, hey, like today I had a bad day. You know, like kind of like not throwing yourself under the bus, but like showing people the real picture. Cause again, we all know that Instagram, TikTok, like we usually just like to show like all the good stuff.
Yeah.
So if we can be vulnerable and we want to be genuine and authentic, it's just like, okay, yeah, today I had a bad day.
Yeah.
And I think that's also something that I've learned in regards to like, you know, the vulnerability and storytelling of just like, people are going to connect when they feel like it's authentic. People are going to connect when they're like, oh, I felt that before. And like, oh, this person is being real and genuine. Like, yeah, like they're not just saying like, oh, like I ran 7 today. Tomorrow I'm running 13. Tomorrow I'm running 27, whatever. Like, look how awesome and amazing. Like, cause I think people tend to disconnect from that.
Yeah.
Where they're like, okay, I mean, now I don't feel connected to you. Now you just seem like a superstar, and there's such a huge gap between me and you. But when you lessen the gap with, like there's times where I struggle. Oh my gosh, I struggle too. This is where I started. Oh my gosh, that's where I'm at right now. Like you build that connection.
That's really good. And as you were talking, I was even thinking of putting it back to like the temple, or even like biblical, of the Pharisees, of like, we're up here, right? And I think that's why the gospel is so beautiful, because it shows us like the whole picture, not just you as a Christian now, like that you're guaranteed a spot in heaven and the rest aren't. It's like, I was a sinner just like you. Like, I still sin, but I have someone, and like showing that real aspect of it. And I think there's so many different aspects of our life, not just physically, that highlight or mirror, how you said, lessons that we can learn from. Like this running journey, we just already talked about like 2 different lessons that we can get from it. And there's so much, but I think it's because God is our creator, and he created these natural like things, or to be good stewards. And so it's all, if done correctly, all is going to make us better people, so that we can glorify God and be like, look, it goes back to our creator. It goes back to our purpose. It goes back to our identity rooted in him. And that's why it's so important. And I think this could be a 2-parter, because I had like so many other things I wanted to talk about. But it's not just like working out. Like, I want people to know that being good stewards of your temple is also like eating well, sleeping well, which you've taught me so much of, like drinking well, resting. We've talked about it last week, that resting is a huge part of taking care of yourself. Like, we're just mentioning one aspect today, or emphasizing one aspect today, but it looks more than that of being good stewards. But I just think like, and again, maybe we could do a part 2, because I'm just think like, if we worship God by taking care of our temple, if that is our true and living sacrifice, and a sacrifice means it's going to be hard. It's going to take from us. What does that like produce? What could that produce?
Right.
Like God, when he sees a sacrifice given with a genuine heart, how he desired, he's going to please in it. And just out of a byproduct, like blessings will come. Again, we don't do it for a blessing. We do it like for worship. But God is such a good father. And so that's why we're running, you feel these endorphins, because it's good for you. Like, he's not going to just leave you with the pain of the run. He's such a good father. He gives us something in return, where it's like, he didn't have to. It could have just been for the, like, no pain, no gain. But in life, we see so much of just like, of his goodness, I think. I don't know if you have anything else you want to add before I wrap it up.
No, I think you wrap it up, and we'll leave the next, all the rest of the stuff for the follow-up for this part 2. Okay.
And I hope, again, you guys see our hearts, not that we got it together and like, look at us now, or this like power couple. Like, this has been, and you guys have seen, like, I think, especially me, like from the beginning till now, like this, me being convicted, kind of not doing anything about it, like slow journey. If you guys have been watching along, and hopefully it is inspiring. Again, I like share this because I'm just like, it feels so good. And I want everyone deserves to feel that. And I want everyone to experience it. And so if you guys have any questions or just want encouragement, I don't know, personal, you want to share your story, like, please reach out. We love that. We read every single comment, and we're so moved by everyone's responses. And so I just want to thank you guys. We don't take it for granted, for sure, especially this platform. And I think this podcast has also helped me, because you kept asking me for a couple weeks already, like these updates in the beginning of the podcast. You're like, oh, so any updates? And I'm like, I have to have more for them. And so like, oh, I want to Pilates. Like, all those little things added, like, it helped me. Yeah. And I'm like, he's gonna ask, like, what else can I say, you know? And also my physical therapist, like, would ask, like, how's the running going? And I'm like, oh, it's going. And I'm like, no, I want to be able to say, like, I'm working on it. And so that helps. And sometimes you just need an accountability partner. If you want us to be that for you, like, reach out. We're here to inspire each other. Again, we don't expect you to be running marathons anytime soon. We just want to see 1% every single day. if not for you and you are a Christian, like do it for Jesus. Remember, it says your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. And again, to loving the Lord your God, this is from Mark 12:30, with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And I hope, again, you see where our hearts are from. And I can't wait for episode 2 because, again, there's so much that we can talk about this. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this with someone if you thought it was powerful. Until next time, bye.
See ya.